we are off against Spain. We get the ball into the right half. Get a nice triangle here, but for some reason Fergus runs in and gets in the road of Richard, and we turn the ball over. Mick should be tracking back after number 23 here, but he doesn't. We win a free, and Richard takes it quickly. Good leads from Henry and Mick. Richard tries to find Mick, but unfortunately the ball just goes too far, and it's a chance for us to get the W set up. For some reason, Henry, who should be between the ball and our goal, isn't, and Eddie should be right up in the circle. He isn't either, and the ball is easily transferred across the pitch. And now we can't implement phase 2 of the W. Where still no one bothers cutting off the pitch, so they can now play the ball back and around. For some reason, Mick has dropped way back and is not taking part in keeping this ball in here, and he's way far too wide. So we've no pressure, and they're just able to play the ball easily into the midfield. Luckily enough, Keith intercepts a poor pass, goes to Henry. He should have picked that up facing goal, but because Mick's so far away and so far back, he can't help Henry out, and Henry eventually takes it into traffic, and the opportunity is gone. We're very slow to get set up again here. Billy's time to get in front but doesn't bother. Keith should be calling Eddie to mark the wide man. Instead, he goes out and leaves the danger channel open. Billy's man picks up the ball, but Billy does well, gets the ball off him, gets it into Fergus. Fergus gives it to Carl. Carl plays it round to Billy. Billy looks at his options. Carl's the best man, and it goes to Carl, back to Stuart, and we can get the ball the whole way across the pitch to Fergus, to Roger. Fergus is the only man there. Richard's far too high. Mick's far too high. Fergus can't find anyone. Carl's come in to give him a hand. He should have given him the ball there. The best thing we can do is to win a free or retain possession, which Carl does for us. Oh, Henry's eventually arrived in the picture. Carl, Fergus, Richard and Henry are all lined up in the same spot. Good movement from Carl, and Fergus creates a space, and we play this ball beautifully across the pitch with a series of 1-2-1-2s out towards Keith. If we'd had a left winger, we could have popped this up to the left wing, but he's not there. Luckily enough, Carl has tracked across. No inside right, unfortunate pass the ball. Good lead through to Henry. Goddard will pick that one up on the run. Mick does well to come across. Should give this ball immediately to Eddie, but he doesn't. Then he takes on too much and overturns the ball, and all of a sudden they're away on a really quick break. Fergus is coming back, but for some reason he goes wide and stops. Carl didn't go with his man. Good ball in. Up in the air. Roger really unlucky to be given a short corner against him there. We try to convince the umpire to change his mind, but to no avail. Okay, for some reason our number 2 runner is taking a position up outside the goal. The ball comes out to their left. No one runs to pressurise it. Shot comes in. Stuart's very high. Deflection. Keith's in no position to defend. And the ball is in the goal. This goal was really against the run of play. But to be fair to Spain, they really executed the 4v4 break very nicely. We didn't get the cover back into the right places, and they won the corner. Okay, so we need to dig in here mentally. We can't get that back. We need to move on. So it's a good decision from Richard here to put the ball up into the corner so we can press them. But why are we walking? Why are we so far off the ball? The forwards should be right up there in their faces. Very slow to get up here, very deep. We should be right up here pressing the ball. We give them far too much space. That's not very good. Okay, so we've got the ball, got pretty good shape here. You can see 9 of our outfield players on the pitch. Ball goes in here. Fergus should have given that earlier. Mick's picked up the ball, takes it, suddenly realises he's got a wall of white shirts, plays it across to Richard. This is not the right kind of pass we want to see, and I've absolutely no idea why Henry is trying to pick that up on his reverse instead of picking it up open side. Now, this is a long corner. Henry should be getting that ball back to the top of the 23 immediately. Instead, we let them give it back, and that gives them all day. Where's Roger? Roger should be right up here behind the play, so we've got plenty of options. We don't get enough people up, and then all of a sudden Richard's having to dribble to try and see if he can make something happen. Very, very, very lucky to get away with that. Ball into Andy. Andy's now got 6 Spaniards around him, and there's more coming. That's got to go out and around. No, he keeps going the wrong way. That's got to get out of there. We don't want the ball in here. And eventually the ball does come out. The problem here is this should have been Carl and Billy up there. Look, we've got 4 men back, not a single player to mark. Poor pass. Eddie was far too high coming back. We should never have made that pass. Now we've got a chance to regroup. Not sure what Billy's doing. He's nowhere near a man. And he's watching the ball. Miscontrols it. Sturdy's got his body shape all wrong. Horrible bit of work there. Very lucky that's not a short corner. Okay. Don't know what happens here. The video crashes, but on we move. They've got plenty of space here to work the ball. We make a poor first tackle, really bad second tackle. However, we got enough men back, and eventually, sheer weight of numbers, we managed to get the ball back. Okay, chance for us to get some control back again. Sturdy into Sean, who's surrounded by 4 Spanish shirts. He lays the ball off again. This is the kind of play we want to do. We just got to have people moving off the ball. Back into Sean again. Again, this is perfect. Got to be a lot more weight on that pass. Jimmy's got to give this back to Stuart now. There's plenty of space. Takes the wrong option. Does really well to get it back. And nice little inside pass, and all of a sudden Andy's got the ball in space and we can go. Good lead for Mick to take people away. That's good running to create space for others. Not sure that's exactly what we're looking for, but it does come off. Keith gets it in a crowd of players, tries to play the ball through for Mick, but comes off a foot. So now we've got a ball in, plenty of time to set up. This time the forwards are heading off into the correct positions. However, there's a total absence of any support from behind and any movement to around the 23. Ball goes to Keith. He forces it, and the ball rolls out to the sideline, or sideline ball. Eventually, Carl decides to join in, which allows Richard to push forward, which he should have done. Keith then finds Carl, and Carl finds Richard. Unfortunately, can't control it. Not sure why Mick has come way back there. His job is to be on the far post. He's just run into Andy's space and collapsed the circle. We drop off and hold. It's really good here. We've decided what we're going to do. We're forcing them to play the ball around. You can clearly hear the calls of just leaving it. Just hold your lines. That's perfect. They've nowhere to go. We've got the angles blocked and they're looking for options. There isn't one. We get the whole way across, and then for some reason Andy decides to go to Sean's man, leaves his man totally free, and all of a sudden they've got the ball where we don't want it. Jimmy does well to break down the play, allowing us to regroup. Forwards are very slow at getting back. Eddie's too wide, we don't need him out there. And Stuart's in the wrong place, so that encourages the ball down the middle. Lucky enough, Carl anticipates it and gets to it first. Time's almost up here. Stuart's got a couple of options, but he decides as the clock's almost done just to hit the ball off the pitch, and that will end the quarter. I'm clearly expecting this to go right. A couple of good passes. But Keith decides to try and play it long here. And unfortunately, it gets intercepted. Our forwards need to be working back more. Mick's the wrong side of his man here. Needs to be the other side to prevent that pass happening. And now he's having to run around after the ball. Spain are moving the ball around nicely here, albeit slowly. Great tracking across here from Henry. Gets the ball. Excellent. It's good to take it quickly, but you need to have a plan in place when you get it. Eventually the ball comes across the pitch. Andy should be moving onto this at speed into that space, but he doesn't. So we just keep the ball and we play it around, just keep in possession for a while. And this is just good possession play here. Now the gap opens, and here we see the advantage of playing too high. Henry doesn't get there, but Eddie does. This ball should immediately go inside. Henry should have followed in. Now Henry and Fergus make exactly the same runs, which is no use. Ball eventually goes to Mick. No idea why he crashes the ball in here. No idea why Billy Dowie and Roger are marking each other. Now Spain have the ball. Poor first touch. Not a great tackle from Keith, but it breaks down play nicely. So Spain have the ball again. They're trying to take it forward. They seem to have a lot of space to play the ball around in. Perhaps somebody's not marking as tightly as they should. Spain tried to drive this forward. Keith takes it off him, but according to the umpire, it's their possession. Okay, not sure why we've got two forwards here, 30 metres apart on the halfway line. That's not a clever idea. Stuart doesn't have his body line to go there. That allows him to be beaten on the inside. We're very lucky there wasn't a touch on that. Very slow setup here. However, watch for a good disguise from Jimmy here. Just into Keith. Lovely play. Fergus should be looking to play this immediately into Henry moving inside, but neither of those events happen, and we're lucky to win a free. Ball out to Andy, who's very isolated. Not much on here. Big long ball. Not very good tackle from the Spaniard. Very lucky to get a long corner out of that. So we've got a long corner here. And we need to get ourselves set up. Good to see Henry making a lead to the baseline. This really shouldn't be Andy's ball. We need to get more players there. Eventually Keith decides he's going to take this, but nobody covers in for Keith, and all of a sudden he has trouble. Look at the massive channel at the top of the D if someone else had come in. Keith gets robbed, and all of a sudden they're on a break again. Thankfully the ball carrier has no pace, and we get back, but Fergus is coming down the wrong channel. That's not a great tackle. He's very, very lucky to stay on the pitch for that one. So there's a lack of communication from the forwards here. Why is Mick running across the pitch, leaving his left half totally unmarked? If the ball goes into the left half, we're in big trouble. Lucky enough, the centre half is looking to play the ball down into the channel, and Roger comes across and takes it. Knocks it too far, so Spain have a free. So we get the opportunity to get set up. Not much on for Spain, and they win another free. And again, another free on the top of the D here. Now, there's a Spaniard, not sure why Eddie's way up there, but also you can see there's a Spaniard free on the baseline, which nobody's picked up. Mick is on the wrong side of his man, so a square ball here puts it into plenty of space. I'm not sure what we're trying to do here. Judy should be communicating better. Fast asleep, ball goes to a completely unmarked man, and only great play from Roger prevents a goal. If that was Germany or England, I think there would have been another goal there. We really got to focus and concentrate. We can't allow men to be completely free in our circle like that. Okay, we should be regrouping here. Fergus is ball watching. We need to be figuring out who we're supposed to be taking. Right. Again, free off Keith. Got to react. We don't. Fergus's man gets in behind him. Very lucky that we don't get a touch in that. Okay, so again, we've got the ball. Space is on the right here. Jimmy's in an easy pass. Andy comes into view here, was nicely positioned for a ball to Jimmy, ball to Andy. Not sure why Stuart decides to take the long ball. And no idea why Andy comes across into the space, because now we've got two people going for the same ball. We've overloaded in the wrong place. Now we get a chance here to get set up properly. We get a good front line press here. This is good. Got the ball, but they've nowhere to go. We slowly press them, and the ball's turned over, and we have it. Richard now, when he gets the ball, should have someone supporting him from behind, but it doesn't happen. Tries to force the ball through to Fergus, and is lucky to get a free hit. So okay, we've got a chance here. Richard looks up, not on self pass, but again he tries to hit another ball into space. Henry far too close to the ball there. He needs to pull the opposition defence up into the circle. We've got to get those forward positions properly. Eddie's out of position here, so we all drop off and give them a chance. Sean cuts across, but there's no sign of any other forward coming across to help. Richard came up, ball goes back round. Again, we just seem to be playing without three forwards. Not sure why Henry's so deep. Richard comes up to press the ball. Fergus doesn't see him rotate, watches the ball and doesn't go with a man inside him. We're lucky they don't pick that up. Oh, and a break in play. I don't know what happened there. Good idea from Jimmy Clark. Not sure what happens next. But Richard does well and wins us our first short corner. So Robert isn't on, so it looks like the call is one with Sean stopping for Richard. Jimmy's remembered to water the pitch. Here we go. Not the most accurate of push-outs. Richard takes it himself. Good shot, bit of deflection. Oh, and what's Jimmy doing? Swinging at the ball. Flat stick on the ground, and that's the equaliser. Okay, it's gone for a long corner. It's good to see Mick and Sean both getting high, but Henry doesn't go to the flick spot. Again, he goes much too far, close to the top of the circle, closing things down. Fergus was beautifully positioned, but went too wide, tries to force it. Somehow it gets through to Sean. He thinks he's going a short corner, but the umpires don't see it that way, and the ball breaks kindly for Spain, and they're off. Good cover here from Richard. Gets in, wins the ball. Ball up to Sean. Sean plays it around. Not sure what's happening here. We can hear a lot of stick checking, but not sure what's going on. Now we can see better. Richard's got the chance, gives it to Jimmy. Jimmy's looking for support, waiting. He sees a lovely gap, fires it up to Mick. Unfortunately, Mick can't control it, and the ball goes dead. Now Henry needs to get up the pitch and stay high on the back man to stop the ball going out and around, but he doesn't. The ball comes across the pitch. Henry, instead of staying high, comes across, and that means that the ball can go back again. Mick comes off his man, and all of a sudden they've got the ball exactly where we don't want them to get it, and they're away. Lucky enough, the guy panics, poor decision, and Keith very unlucky not to pick that one up. We've got good cover here, and we've got +1, but there's no communication between Stuart, Richard and Carl, and between the three of them they leave a man totally unmarked in the middle of the circle. They're 3v2 now because Roger's been ball watching. Stuart, he does really, really well to break that down. So we can see here number 7's totally unmarked, nobody's going to him, and Sean's a bit upset that he didn't manage to control that. So now we've got a chance to get the press again. Reasonably straightforward. We just need to get Henry, Mick and Sean in the line, get the midfielders in behind them. Mick drifts a little too high to start with, but not too bad of a shape here. Wee bit of too much movement here from Henry. He goes too far the wrong way, gets himself exposed, and the ball's crashed down his reverse side, which shouldn't happen. Good 1-2 into the circle from the Spaniards, and thankfully that there was a bit of composure by the attacker there. He could easily have won a corner or got a much better shot. Again, we're watching the opposition. We've got 6 green shirts in an area where there's only a couple of Spaniards. No idea we've got so many men in here. No idea why Mick Ryan's coming back in here from right wing. We just really need to focus on our roles at corners and make sure we're doing the right things. Sean deliberately offers them the ball out to the wide man, who's no danger. Ball goes to the wide man. We close him down. Henry needs to be in on that only pass he's got open. Henry doesn't see it early enough. By the time he gets there, it's too late, and they win another free. Again, we've got good pressure here. They've got nothing on. They don't know where they're going. Crash ball, and we pick it up. Ball into Mick. He's a bit isolated here. Nobody near him, so he does the right thing. Gets a free, and we can regroup and rebuild. We're wandering about a bit here. We're very slow to get ourselves into any kind of recognisable shape. Jimmy and Stuart are standing on top of each other. Okay. Eventually, Stuart plays a bobbly ball into Richard, who controls it, and then instead of laying it off to Fergus, goes for a long ball, which is easily intercepted, and the Spaniards come away with the ball again. Lots of work for now. He needed to recover back. They play the ball out to the right-hand side. And Roger's penalised for something there. I'm not quite sure what. He's having a little chat with the umpire about it, but it's not going to change anything. So he just needs to get back on with the game. Okay. Umpire's not very happy with Roger. And off we go again. We allow them the wide ball. The guy's trapped. Not sure where he's going to go. He's nowhere to go at all. Keith reads it. Very good. Intercepts it. And all of a sudden, we've got the ball. We've got a chance to go forward. Keith takes the ball into contact. Wins himself a free. Very quickly gets the ball to Eddie. Eddie brings it under control. Tries to turn inside. Oh, a stick tackle there. Oh, but not according to the umpire. He wasn't. And we're just playing on. Good pressure coming from Richard here to get to the player, but the hooter goes. We know we're going to start by giving them the ball deep in their inside left channel. So why is everyone so deep? As soon as the ball's played, we should be pressing up as quickly as possible, putting them under pressure. Instead of which, it's going to be some 20 seconds before the first real engagement takes place. Okay, so Henry, Eddie and Fergus have a good initial shape, but Eddie moves far too far across and far too deep, and that enables the ball to go back in. Mick's done well, getting high enough so the sweeper doesn't fancy the across ball. And the ball's into the channel, so this is Stuart's to claim. Ball bum defender, counterclockwise turn, ball into Carl, and off we go. Good ball from Carl to Richard. Richard turns. Henry should be picking this ball up, going open side, infield into all that space. Instead, he tries to pick it up reverse side. Billy and Stuart are spectating at this point, not sure what they're doing. Ferguson saves their embarrassment by getting a touch. Carl's not marking anyone right now. We can't afford to have 2 men deep, as this will create overloads elsewhere. Mick nearly intercepts the first pass. Andy gets a touch in the second, and Richard has the ball. The movement here from Mick is exactly what we want leading up into that channel. Ball should have come to him there, but it's just too slow. By the time it gets there, he's unfortunately can't control it. Billy's back marking here, allowing his man to pick the ball up. Push pass again is Stuart's. He picked the ball up. He can do the same as he did last time and give it to Carl, instead of which he decides to win a free. Ball still on to Carl, but he goes for the long hit and we lose it. Bad touch. Andy should be cutting infield now, heading for the top of the circle, instead of which he goes wide, throws the ball into the corner, gives Spain plenty of time to recover. Then he runs away and poor Mick is left totally isolated and ultimately turns over the ball. Stuart drifting across here. Tim goes to get the ball, so we can all slow things down and get back into position here, ready to restart. Roger's much too wide here. Touchline's not his friend in this scenario, and Sturdy tries to crash it, and only poor touch from the Spanish players means that it goes away from danger area. Good recovery from Roger to get there first and win the free. I think that was probably a card there for the Spaniard. This is good. Now again, Sturdy's come right out here. He's far too close to the touchline, far too close to Roger, and he's miles away from Billy Dowie. So whenever this ball goes to him, he's got to make a long pass, which he doesn't make accurately, and Billy can't get there. Okay, we need to regroup quickly. But again, the question is, who are we marking? Carl and Stuart both appear to be playing sweeper. They're not marking a man. This is going to create overloads everywhere else on the pitch. As the play develops, forwards just aren't working as a unit. Initially, Henry and Mick get there, but then Mick runs away and leaves Henry by himself. We should have 3 forwards. Eddie's just not joining in. So poor Henry's just doing shuttle runs, and he's got very little chance of getting the ball here. Eventually, he gets a little touch, but it's their ball. Carl's still not anywhere near a Spanish player, and Henry goes to sleep because his man ends up taking the ball. He's in completely the wrong place. If you watch here comes Henry's man. He's not watching him, and now Henry's in completely the wrong place. Aerial ball up, can't see what happens here, but I think we get a free out. So why is Stuart going out to take this? He should be in the middle. Leave this to the wide defender. Good news is we've got players into the middle of the pitch here, so we've got a chance. Carl gives the ball out to Roger. Roger should be heading up the centre of the pitch, not wide. This pass clearly isn't on. Why did he try to make it? Good control from the Spaniard there, and we'd be under a lot of pressure. So here's the ball moving around. They've got plenty of space. They can find people all over the place. What on earth's going on? And the answer to all their space is here. When the ball comes forward, we have 5 green men marking 2 forwards. That's why they've got so much space on the rest of the pitch. We have to push out. We cannot play 5v2 at the back and hope to be competitive. Okay. Taking your time to make the substitution. Again, why have we got 3 players in this small area of the pitch? Ball comes to Stuart. Easy ball to Billy Dowie here. No, we're going to have a big crash. And we've turned the ball over again. Billy Dowie looks right royally pissed off with that. So a Spanish player comes onto the pitch, but nobody takes responsibility for him. He just wanders across. Nobody cares. Billy Dowie doesn't know what to do now. He's standing in the middle of the pitch wondering what he should be doing. And there's a man totally free on the right wing. Aerial ball, can't see what goes on here, but I think the Sturdy gets the ball, and again he tries to crash it instead of just lay it off, and the opposition have the ball, and it's just not good play. When we get the ball back, we've got to learn to keep it. Good, we force them onto the left touchline, but Henry comes in from the wrong angle and gives away a really, really cheap free. No idea why Henry runs away here. He's on the right now. He can just stay there, but he leaves the right, leaves the player short on the right. Okay, so the Spaniards taking their time here. Yeah. Okay, this is good. They're not going anywhere really. It's all very tight. It's exactly what we want to see. Can't see what's happening there, but we should be relatively happy that they're playing the ball into this really tight, congested area. Risky pass, Sean almost makes it. Not controlled, Fergus has it. And we've got a free. We've got plenty of time to regroup now. Good ball from Billy, gets the play moving. And the video breaks again. Pity we haven't got coverage of how we actually won our second short corner. No Richard here. So the plan was based on what we'd seen of the Spaniards before, was to give the ball back to the pusher-outer. So out comes the ball. Ball's going back to the injector. Spaniard steps up. Ball goes to Andy. Plenty of time. Stewart's far too high. Has to take it in reverse stick and turn and goes wide. If Stewart had stayed much deeper where he's supposed to, stayed at the top of the D, then when this ball came back, he would have loads of time and loads of space in order to take his shot. The restart's taken quickly here. We're asleep. We're not watching what we should be doing. Jimmy does well to step in front, take the ball. And we have possession back. Good ball into a good lead by Mick. Unfortunately, Mick just pops the ball, and for some reason the umpire gives a free against him. Again, they take it before we've got set up. So I have to work really hard. Andy wins the ball. We've got room to work now. We need to get it out of the traffic here. Look at the number of people that are on this side of the pitch. Keith gets robbed. Still on this side of the pitch. Everybody is on this side of the pitch. We need to get it over to the left. It's got to go across the left. Instead, we push it back into the right. And in the end, Andy just crashes the ball off the end of the pitch and gives him back possession. Another chance here to set up the W. Too many people are in the wrong places. We've really got to focus on getting this W set up. We know when we set it up properly, it works really well. When we don't set it up properly, it looks horrible. So again, Fergus is coming up into the gap, which is good. Unfortunately, Andy's not in the gap between Cliff and Sean, which is where he needs to be. That would have been straight to him if he'd been there. Carl picks us up nicely. Horrible pass to Billy's reverse side. Billy does well to get it across to Stewart. Stewart's got Fergus totally unmarked in the middle of the pitch. Not sure what he's trying to do, but he's very lucky that there's a bit of an agricultural tackle there and he gets a free. We just need to start making a couple of good passes here and keep possession. Don't know what's going on here, but again, we go for another long ball. And as with 99% of all our long passes, the opposition now have the ball. We're good. We get good pressure here. 4-on-4, we have a chance. Fair play to the Spanish number 78 here. He doesn't panic. Plays quite well. We dive in. He walks round. He gets his pass off to the left wing. That was really good play by the Spaniards. They've worked it out really, really well. That was good play. Okay, now we need to work across, get the cover across. Good, we've got enough people around here to help. Good covering by Richard. Good play by the Spaniards to get the ball into a dangerous area. However, Jimmy Clark reads it really well, gets across, tries a bit of 3D, and even though the Spaniard reads it, we still win the head out. Again, Stuart comes away out to take this, and the problem here is he's effectively taking Billy out of the game. It's very good to see Jimmy coming in here to tuck in. Mick and Fergus are too wide and too high. Looking if Keith retains possession. Mick now heads upfield, which is perfect, but Fergus runs away, which is what we don't want. We need Mick to go ahead of the other two forwards here to create an extra option. However, he goes the other way and ends up with a flat front 3 line instead of the 2-1 line we're trying to create. Not a great first touch from Cliff here, but if Mick had gone where he should have, he'd have been there to support him. He's not there. Not a great ball back to Billy, not a great first touch, but he does really well to win a free. Good patient play here from Billy, looking for the option. I think he's forgotten Cliff's coming off an injury, just pushes it too far in front of him, and Cliff can't get there. Okay, get the W set up again. Let's get the pressure up here. Don't let them get the ball out cheaply. Okay. So we got good play here. Initially, we get set up nicely. Good pressure. They give us the ball, but unfortunately, we're supposed to be playing in our 3-by-3 formation, but 2 of our players are missing from this picture. Where are they? Why haven't they tucked in and across? Okay, plenty of space here. Unbelievable take from Fergus. Gets his head up, and great lead from Cliff. Ball goes in. Keeper kicks it to him. Cliff just needs to take his time. Big swing. Shouldn't do that. Should look up. Eventually gets it across, and Richard takes his time and wins a short corner. That was a really good piece of play by Fergus there. I'm not sure he was expecting to get that ball. Good lead from Cliff. But when we're in the circle, we've got to just put our stick on the ball and pick the right pass. So this time round, we're going to have Keith injecting. No reverse stick stopper on for Richard. So he's going to have to stop it himself. Again, Jimmy's sort of telegraphing where it's going here. It needs to be much more in the middle between the 2 strikers. Out to Richard, he stops it. Not the best shot ever, but gets a little nick, and all of a sudden it's 1-1. Game on. Not the best hit out. Bobbly ball. Not a great shot, but they all count, and that's got us back into the game now, which is what we really deserved, I think, given the way we've played. So big thing now is to stay absolutely focused for the next minute. Got ourselves into the game. We need to make sure that we don't give away anything stupid at this stage. So we need to get the front line correct. We don't want to all drop off. We need to get the press where it needs to be. Mixed far too deep. It's just allowing the passes to happen. We've got to keep our shape. Got to keep the pressure on. We can't drop deep. The more you drop deep, the more opportunities you offer them. We've got to stay with what we know works. We've got to press them the way we know how to press them. So all to play for. Again, we know where the ball's going. And again, we're not quick up with the press. We've got to work on that. Spain try to force it, bring it into contact. Roger wins the ball. And we're off. Ball's played out nicely. Got possession round the back. Out to Jimmy. Lovely ball and a lovely run by Jimmy to pick up the return pass. Excellent play. Gets through the tackle. Great forward ball to Sean. Picks it up. Waits for the support. Here comes Cliff. Unfortunately, Cliff's first touch just takes him away from goal. But Jimmy supports him well. Great idea on the first time pass. We just need to make sure that the players are making the run for that. But that was the right thing to do. Spain now have the ball. We're pressing. Unlucky not to get the ball first time. Sean goes across, puts more pressure on. The ball comes straight to Richard. Richard takes his time, gives the ball off to Keith. Keith looks around. It's easy to see why Keith might think Sean's a pass, but just as he makes the pass, Eddie is totally free in the circle. Spain have the ball, and they're playing some nice hockey here. They win the free. They've got space, players in midfield they can find. Ball comes across, Sean gets over, gets his feet around, faces the man, stands him up, forces him inside. He lays the ball back and around. Good pressure here, no option passes. They go for the big long ball. Billy's marking his man well, and the ball runs harmlessly off the end of the pitch. Okay, we've got a head out here, get everybody in the right place. I'm happy that Sturdy takes this quickly. And when the ball comes back, I cannot understand why Roger goes left, putting Stewart under pressure. The ball there was to Jimmy, plenty of space, and we're very lucky to get out of that with no real penalty. Again, we seem to have a couple of players missing in action here. We've not got the support round the ball that we need. Billy tries to put it up the line, and we've given possession away. We seem to be a player missing here. There's a lot of white shirts around. They work the ball around patiently. They seem to have an extra player. Sturdy gets in the wrong position. First stick again. Drops the stick. Automatic short corner. No argument there. Really got to work on getting ourselves back in line to goal so we're taking stuff on our open side, not a reverse side. So, got the corner team getting themselves ready. I'm not sure why Keith needs to be quite so far out into the circle. And again, he's taking the position up outside the post when I thought we were taking the position up inside the post. Ball goes out. It's not a great trap, but Andy gets beaten with his pitch. Timmy makes two great saves, and the ball's cleared. We've got a chance to break here. Can't see what's happening, but the ball's played up the park and across the pitch for Carl on the break. Unfortunately, Carl can't control it. Okay, again, we've got Keith and Stuart and Carl not near anyone here. Carl and Stuart, I'm not sure what they're marking. We've got loads of people on this side of the pitch, but nobody on the other. Massive gap for the Spanish player to attack into. Andy goes too far across. Reverse stick exposed. Lucky enough, Stuart's in the right place and finds Richard. Richard gets fouled and he gets a free. Ball into Keith, goes on a little dribble. Mick makes a good lead, but he's not spotted. Richard's lying way back. He should have been making forward. Good lead from Andy here. Early ball, he's there. Ball goes to Richard, very slow. But unfortunately, we turn over the ball. Jimmy gets there, gets to his man, and good covering by Mick wins us the free. And we can go forward again. Ball into Keith, nothing on, back and around the answer, ball to Sturdy, and for some reason yet again Sturdy fails to make contact with Billy. Okay, Fergus does well to get into position coming on. Cliff eventually decides to come and join in. Good cover by Billy here to take the aerial, man close. Gets it. Fergus sees the opportunity. Quick ball to Richard. Richard is fouled. got the opportunity, sees the long ball to Mick, but unfortunately Mick can't bring it under control, and Spain have the ball. Right, good chance to get a W set up, and I'm looking forward to the players explaining exactly what they were doing in this scenario. Not sure where Andy is, what Richard's doing, Fergus doing. Everybody just seems to be doing their own thing, and eventually Andy and Carl tackle each other, and the ball goes to Spain. We managed to break this down on the halfway line. Give ourselves some time. Richard gets dragged a little to the right, which opens up a channel to the top of our circle. Straight to Sturdy, not the best touch from Sturdy. Billy gets the ball out wide to Sean. He's got plenty of time. I'm not sure the long hit up the pitch is really the way forward. We need to keep possession there. We don't need to throw it away. Cliff works back, taking an interesting line. Ball's worked into the middle of the pitch. Sturdy very wide on the left. Big gap on the right, but luckily enough there is no one there. Tim goes off to get the ball, but we're all walking. Forwards are far too high. We all switched off here. Sturdy decides to thread the eye of the needle and is very, very lucky not to get picked by the forward. Spain try and play it across the pitch, but it's a poor ball and we have the ball. Game's getting spread out now. We really need to get ourselves compact again and play the game the way we said. Ball into the middle of the pitch here. Got plenty of space, plenty of time. Played around. Oh, the tip's broken again. And we've just got Spain in possession deep in their own half. Good ball out. Lovely inside ball here. Got a great chance to attack the top of the circle. Good covering back. Love to see this ball going so wide. Gives Sturdy a chance to get across. He gets across, gets his body shape right this time. And well played, Andy, to pick up the cross. Now we've got a chance to go again. Unfortunately, the ball's just thrown too far in front of Eddie and he can't pick it up. Okay, again, got to get the press across. Mixed too deep there. Fergus just unlucky not to get the ball. It's a Spanish ball. Again, Mick's dropping deeper and deeper. He needs to be up in the line so this pass can't happen. The ball goes across. Now we all have to do shuttle runs. Good play from Andy and Jimmy getting here. Goes too far and we have the ball. Jimmy should really throw this up to Andy to take. Jimmy given the depth. So this gives Spain a chance to get their press set up. You can see them pressing across. They've got their 5 men in the space. Jimmy goes for the aerial. Good aerial. Good idea to keep your eye on the ball, I reckon. Okay, we need to get our press back in position. 3 forwards don't really seem to be working as a unit. Not sure why. And Andy's not using the wide forward to block the pass to his man. Instead, he's getting sucked out of the channel we want them to stay in. Again, we don't cut the pitch, so it gives them a chance to play the ball the whole way across, and everybody has to trundle across the pitch. Good marking here, mind you. Forced them to throw the aerial, which should be ours every time, and it is. We want to sub here, so Sturdy should take his time. Richard's going off there, a bit of awareness. Plays the ball up the line, and Richard almost gets hit with it as he's running off the pitch. Keith's come on. He looks almost like he's playing centre forward or left wing at the moment. Very high. Good to see Fergus dropping back in there to the centre of the pitch to take that other line. That's good play from Carl there, directing the troops, and the ball goes dead. Lovely to see that. Okay, we just need to get our stick on the ball here and retain possession for a while. Spain have dropped way off, so Jimmy's the ball every day, instead of which we go for the hit again. This time we actually find the player, but he then gets it in such a position that he can't get his head up. He dribbles it and turns over the ball. They give it back to Carl, who gives it back to them. We really do need to get back to short, sharp passing here. Spain have got the ball, and a poor control gives the ball to Eddie. We've got a chance here to come forward. Ball into Keith. Keith can do a counter roll out here, which he does nicely. He's got plenty of options. Great run from Andy. Fortunately, just can't control the ball. However, he pushes up, breaks down the play. So we've got good pressure here on the ball carrier, force him head down, force him to run with it. This is good. Well done, Mick. Gets the ball off him. That's good pressure. We've got a chance for a quick break. Mick, nobody coming up, so he wins a free. Keith has the ball now. Opportunity to drive. Unfortunately, Mick and Jimmy both go wide, which is not ideal. Ball out to Mick. Into the circle. Jimmy gets a touch. Cliff gets another little touch. Looks like the chance is gone. Keith's now got the ball. Beats one or two. Really nice tight space. Lovely cool dribble. And a great flick into the far corner. And that's why I like to see people attacking the half spaces. It's amazing what happens if you're in that place as opposed to being in the wide places. So there's not long to go now, so we need to pay attention. We need to get our shape correct, and we need to try and get the ball back and then either get the ball up high or get a good series of passes together. We're all dropping off here. We don't want to concede pitch. We need to push up. We need to make sure we're not giving them the opportunity to crash the ball into the circle. This is good. Just need to make sure that we just keep the ball here if we can. Spain looking and looking and looking. Playing the ball out and around here. And they're not finding any way they can play forward here. We're just keeping them nicely in our half. We mustn't back off. Just keep the pressure on the ball. They try a long ball. Keith gets across. Stuart across. We've got lots of cover here. They're going to crash it from a long way away. Stuart gets it and gives it away again. Got a chance to regroup here. Well in there by Richard. Unfortunately, can't control it. Spain have the ball back again. Dangerous opportunity here. Unfortunately, they run into each other, and that gives us a chance to get the ball back again. What we need now is a period of playing close together and keeping possession. Stuart goes for another long hit and is very, very lucky that's not picked off. Seems at the end of the game when we need cool heads and short passes, we tend to go for big hits and long passes. So again, Stuart has the ball. This has got to be to Jimmy. Keep possession. Goes for the crash. Gets it through to Keith. Keith, first touch. Andy makes a great lead here if he'd give him the ball, but he doesn't see him. Keeps his head down. Wins a free. However, he lifts his stick up and the umpire gives it against us. Again, we need to get the shape very quickly. Don't want to drop off. We just need to keep the pressure on the ball in this part of the pitch. Sean staying high here, keeping pressure on the ball, not giving them any chance to come forward. Good marking with everybody else. Again, working hard. Good play elsewhere in the pitch, not getting a chance to get forward. Forces the big long hit, which Billy intercepts easily. First touch not great, but foul from the Spaniard. And that's it. It's a pity we don't get to see the drama of the last 2 minutes.